Good morning, Peninsula Grace Church family. This morning's reading can be found in Job chapter 9, verses 1 through 12. And you may remember that on Monday we read Matthew chapter 14, verses 1 through 36. So that means that each of the passages that we read from this week are going to be connected to Matthew chapter 14 in some way and help us expand our understanding of that section of Matthew. But in order for us to do this, we need to understand the context, and specifically today, we need to understand the context of Job chapter 9. And you may remember that Job is a righteous man who experienced horrendous suffering, though he was completely innocent. And in Job 8, we see, though, that he is confronted by his friend Bildad, and Bildad tells Job, you gotta turn from your sin. You have to seek God and plead for mercy, and maybe he'll be merciful to you. But Job answers back. It's beginning in chapter 9, verse 1. He says, okay, even if I am guilty of something, which I'm not, how could I turn back God? How could I change his mind or manipulate him to stop his plan? He is the sovereign creator of the universe. And he specifically says in verse 8, God was the one who stretched out the heavens and trampled on the waves of the sea. We may ask, okay, now when did God trample the waves of the sea? Well, we see that word trample, it's a key word for us, and it's meant to bring to mind the idea of an army marching or expanding its territory or trampling, walking into new terrain. And this is exactly what we're told to have seen in Genesis chapter 1. For we see in the beginning, the Spirit of God hovered over the waters of the deep, and he spoke into them division and separation. He spoke his created order, land and vegetation and life, where there was chaos. He in other words, trampled over the chaotic sea and brought about his sovereign rule and reign over nature. As creator and king, he exercised sovereign control in order to bring about his purposes. And so Job says, this is the God that I'm dealing with. And you think that me, a mere mortal, that I'm going to be able to twist his arm and get him to change his mind? There's no way. And here's the connection to Matthew 14. We're told that Jesus, the Son of Man, who's gentle and lowly in heart, the suffering servant, late one night, after being separated from his band of followers, while the winds rage and the waves beat against his disciples' boat, Jesus, he steps out into the Sea of Galilee. And in doing so, he demonstrates his sovereign control over the chaos of the water. He is our true creator and king. The same power possessed by the creator God is possessed by his human Messiah. So rest in this, that there is no aspect of your life over which Jesus does not possess absolute and total control. With the snap of his fingers, he could stop the spread of this virus dead in its tracks. With a single word, he could end the financial and the economic turmoil that we find ourselves in, and he could do so instantly. So whatever is nagging at your heart and your mind, whatever is pulling at you today, cast it on to your Creator and your King. Let's do that today, church.